snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so I'm here today to do a very quick kind of TBR roundup or wrap up, whatever you want to call it, for the TBR takedown read-along that happened last week. Today is Monday, so it's the first day after the read-along ended. I had a very successful start to the read-along, and then the second half was not quite as successful because I was moving house. I was moving from my university back down to my house. As you guys can see, I'm back home. So I had a very, very busy weekend with moving and getting everything sorted out and all of that stuff, so that took up most of my weekend and Friday, which meant that I didn't really read on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so most of these books I read Monday to Thursday. So the first thing that I managed to read for the read-along was Saga, issue 28. This is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I absolutely adore Saga, it's such a fantastic series. This one was no exception. 5 out of 5 stars, fantastic read. I'm not going to be reviewing the individual issues, but I really, really enjoyed this, and I think it's a fantastic series to get started with graphic novels, and if you like fantasy and sci-fi, then you'll probably like Saga, so definitely worth picking up. Then I got to a book that I had on my TBR, which was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I really enjoyed this one. It's illustrated, as you guys can see. Every now and then there's a page that has illustrations, and it's kind of like a kid's story, but it actually deals with a lot more bigger messages than just a kid's story. What goes on in this child's brain when things are going wrong with his family, like how does he consider things, how does he deal with things, how does he process things, and I found it really interesting. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good read, it was interesting, but it wasn't mind-blowing, so I didn't adore it. It was a really interesting idea though, and I think the illustrations really, really made this book. If it didn't have illustrations, it probably wouldn't have got as high a star rating, but because of the illustrations, it just was so much fun to get through, and I really did enjoy this one. So yeah, very happy that I got through that one, and that was one of the challenges. A book from my latest haul, so that one ticked off. Then I read Ship of Magic, which is by Robin Hobb. I finished this up in the read-along, even though it wasn't actually on my TBR. I absolutely really, really loved this book. It was so good, and I was already reading it before the read-along started, so I kind of took some time out the read-along to read this because I was loving it, and I didn't want to put it down, and I was just really, really enjoying it and not far from the end, so I ended up finishing this one up. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I will be doing a full review of this and all of the others, except this single issue, sometime in the next week or two. Now that I'm home I can film more, so that should be good. But yeah, this one was amazing, definitely the best Hobb book I've read, and I can't wait to continue the series. Then I read Shades of Milk and Honey, which is by Mary Robinette Kowell. I was already reading this as a buddy read, and I really wanted to finish it up, and I wasn't really expecting a whole lot from this because I don't usually read this sort of genre, but I actually fell in love with this story, fell in love with the idea and the characters, and just the way everything turned out was really interesting. It surprised me in places that I didn't expect it to, and I just really, really enjoyed this. So I'm very happy to say that I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I will be continuing on with the series, which is great because I already have book 2 and 3. Again, this one wasn't for any challenges, I just ended up finishing it up in the week of the read-along, so that just happened to sneak on in there, although it could count for the first one in the series, which I suppose the Robin Hobb one could as well. They are both the first ones in a series. Then I also managed to finish up The 100,000 Kingdoms, which again was a buddy read. This one kind of put me in a slight not really wanting to read mood because I just didn't like it that much. I think I gave it 2.5 stars. It was okay, it wasn't anything special. N.K. Jemisin gets a lot of praise, but I'm not sure why, because this book just really didn't work for me. The way it was written was very clunky. It felt like there were a lot of information dumps. It felt like it was quite dull and just not a lot happened, and it was not a lot of action or exciting stuff going on. There was a love interest in this which was really, really messed up and weird, and there was one moment that was just the weirdest sex scene I've ever seen or read in a book. That was the highlight of the book really, because it was the only thing I can say that I actually was like, whoa, that's exciting. Everything else was a bit samey and a bit boring, so I didn't really enjoy the rest. But yeah, there was a very weird kind of out of this world sex scene. If you've read this, you'll know what I mean, I'm sure. But yeah, definitely a weird one. Unfortunately, I only gave that 2.5. And then the next one, which was part of my TBR, was Full Moon by Jim Butcher, and I really enjoyed this. It's the second one in the Dress and Vial series. I read this as part of the challenge because it was the sequel or something like that. It was a lot better than the first one in the series, Stormfront. The first one in the series I gave 3 stars, this one I gave 4 stars. much better, much more improved. Definitely he's settled into his writing style, which is fantastic, and on the whole I really enjoyed that one, so 4 out of 5 stars for that one. So I'm pretty happy with the way that everything went in the read along. I don't think I completed all the challenges. I can't even remember what all of them were. I did the sequel, I did the one from my latest haul, I did the first of the series. I didn't get to the out of my comfort zone with the girl in 6E, unfortunately. And then there was another one that I can't remember what that was, but I will put it on the screen somewhere so you guys know. Overall, I had a really great week, and the start of the week when I was actually actively reading and had the time to read was an awful lot of fun, and I really enjoyed myself. So thank you to Shannon for organising the read-along. It was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to future TBR takedowns. Thank you all for watching. Leave me all your links to your videos if you took part, because I'd love to see them, and let me know what you read. And thank you all for watching. I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat about the